Can they set it properly?
Okay, for this morning, we're already in the Unit 3, which is all about the developmental theories and the other relevant theories. But we will be focusing on a certain theory, which is Freud's psychoanalytic theory. But before we delve into our discussion, let's have a preliminary activity.
Okay naman po.
This is Freud's analytical theory words from whole activity. Instruction. For this activity, maklaro ninyo? For this activity, study the strong letters and try to unstrumble or rearrange the letters to form a word or phrase that fits the given clues. If you know the answer, just raise your hand. And if no one will raise their hand, I'll be the one to select as the answer. For the first
Roselyn.
words,
Roselyn.
this is the word of us so we can reach if prompted, but it's not in our active conscious. It's right below the surface, but still hidden somewhat unless we search for it. Yes, Maribeth. It's inner Anyone? Yes? Yes, Lauren.
Pre-succession mind.
No. Abot. Isa man.
Ay, isa ha. Kailangan sarang
Ay, si Rika. Okay, Rika.
Suna.
What's your answer? No.
Consciousness.
The clue is conscious.
Conscious mind.
Right? Next. This argues that human behavior is the result of the interactions among three component parts of the mind, the id, ego, and superego. Psychoanalytic.
Theory.
Hindi mo ba?
Next.
Conscience.
This is known as the moral sense of right and wrong.
Team admin.
Principle is the driving force of the id that seeks blank gratification of all needs, wants, and urges. This is an adjective. Someone starts with letter I. Immediate. Next.
Unconscious.
May pasok-pasok dito na ba?
Development. Psychosexual development.
The blank is the ego's control of the pleasures it
Principle mo na. Trial is
to meet the demands of the external world.
Reality principle.
This is the part of the mind that acts as a conscience.
Superego.
So back in our topic, Freud's psychoanalytical theory or psychoanalytic theory. So before we study psychoanalysis, we must first know who is behind this theory. Dapat makaibota, isa may gandungan ng anong namugda ang psychoanalysis. So, behind psychoanalytical theory is Sigmund Freud. So Sigmund Freud is an Austrian neuropsychologist, meaning to say he studies how our brain damages or our brain issues can affect our behavior or our moods. He is the father of psychoanalysis. So truth be told, Sigmund Freud received a lot of criticisms about psychoanalysis kay nag-ingon nga dili man na effective, dili man na sakto ng psychoanalysis. But then, a lot of theories or a lot of psychologists use this theory in their own theory. Gamit nila ang psychoanalysis. So with the help, dili ra kay siya na usaha, with the help of Joseph Breuer, they developed the psychoanalysis when they were able to treat pinsaman.
Si Bertha Pappenheim.
Bertha Pappenheim, also known as Anna O, in her hysteria through talk therapy or talking cure. Kanang hysteria is kanang emotional excess. Kanang bitaw anxious kaayo si Anna O. Kaya siya yung mga bipambati na wala siya nakasabot. Then, treat nila ni Joseph Breuer or ni Sigmund Freud through talking therapy or talking cure, wherein nagstorya sila ni pagawas ni Anna O ang siyang brain, then di umano mao na to ang cause sa iyang disorder. Tumoto nga, bali di-analyze ni Sigmund Freud o ni Joseph Breuer ang mga suds ang mga past experiences ni Anna O na naka-affect sa iyang disorder, naka-affect sa iyang present behavior. Sa tan? Okay, by the way, I have inserted videos in my slides. This is from YouTube. This is licensed and free to access. So I would like to give my credits to Sprout Schools para dito ka makasuhan. Okay. So Freud stages of psychosexual development, you can see it in your handouts. So nganong gi-appeal man ni Sigmund Freud ang psychosexual development. So psychosexual development, through psychosexual development, we will understand how issues in the past experiences can affect our present behaviors. Diba usually, when we try to explain the personality of a person, we try to consider his past experiences.
Yes.
Say for example, na ay picture na nagbinuang mo, itago na to sa pangalan ng X. So, kaya si X, guy, cheater. So, some people's explanation would be along those lines nga. Basi kanitawhana, giilad ni siya, mao na iyang nabuhat. But that is just the basic of psychoanalysis. Now, ako ng past experiences can affect our present experiences. Now, ang psychoanalysis, but we will know more about it further in our discussion. So, Freud's stages of psychosexual development. So, according to Freud, a person goes through the sequence of the 5 stages of psychosexual development. How many stages?
5.
5. So, along the way, there are needs to be met. So, whether these needs are met or not determines if a person will have a healthy personality or not. Just like in developmental tasks. Diba, if ana nga stage, wala ka naka-achieve, ano mo? Diba, if ana nga stage or developmental stage, is good? Diba, if ana nga developmental stage, dili na to ma-achieve ang developmental task, then later on, mga succeeding stages, maglisod na ta. So, mao po na ang mahitabo sa psychosexual development. So, if dili na po ma-achieve ang atong needs, ana nga stage, asa na nga stage, then, it will determine if tindog ba itong batasan, healthy ba itong batasan, or dili. So, there are 3 terms there. There are 3 terms there, you can see. The erogenous zone, fixation, and libido. So we will explain this in the simplest way possible. So kaya libido, naan na to. So mao ni ato ang pleasure. Bali mao ni ang mo crave. Sabtan ninyo, mao ni ang basic life energy or desire that fuels stages of development driving our focus from one area to another. So, nani na to ha atong libido. So, kani atong libido is mag-focus ni sila o certain erogenous zones. Unsa man ni erogenous zone? Mo ni ang specific pleasure area. Mo na i-highlight ninyo. Mo na timaan niyo sa erogenous zone, specific pleasure area. So, kana atong libido, mag-focus man ang erogenous zone, dapat kanang erogenous zone, ma-meet ang atong needs anaa. Saktan? Kinahanglan nga ma-meet atong needs anaa. Now, if dili ma-meet ang atong needs or na failure to meet the needs, then what will happen? Fixation occurs. Mo na ang fixation. So let's proceed to the 5 distinct stages of psychosexual development. What is the first stage of psychosexual development? Oral stage. So, by the way, just don't mind ka na itong maas sa babaw na age, like, lahi na siya sa libro. Kanina sa handouts is, di ka sa libro, maura kung bilisan. So, oral stage is from birth to 18 months. What is the erogenous zone? Ha? Sa mouth. So, saan na ito erogenous zone? Mao ang
Specific focus of area.
Muna ang specific pleasure area. Dapat nga, ma-meet na. So in the first years of our lives, we discover the world through our oral senses. Do you agree? In the first years of our lives, kuno, we discover the world through our oral senses. Pag mata ba nato dito ba tayo?
Wala.
Dito ba tayo kapitan? Diba? Wala. We discover the world through sucking our mother's breast. Diba? And we find pleasure in sucking our mother's breast or a bottle. Now, the conflict that occurs now is the weaning. Diba mo sa nang weaning? Kaning weaning, kung sa Bisaya pa is malutas. So sa oral stage, anak ko nung start ang conflict kung malutas na ta sa atong mga inahan. So too much or too little satisfaction can lead to an oral stage, oral fixation, or oral personality, which is shown in an increased focus on oral activities. So this type of personality may be, what are those? Oral. What is oral receptive, Maribel? Can you read?
Have a stronger.
Ay, sige, si Lorenda, sa oral aggressive, si Maribel.
Oral receptive have a stronger tendency to smoke, drink alcohol, and overeat.
Thank you, Loren. How about oral aggressive?
With a tendency to bite his or her nails or use curse words or even gossips.
Yes, thank you so much, Loren and Maribel. So, kung dili ko na nato masatisfy or too much or too little satisfaction mo no is, ma-develop na to ni mga oral fixation, many oral receptive, oral aggressive. So, according sa psychoanalysis or psychosexual development, as a result, these persons may become too dependent on others, isa pa, easily fooled, and lack leadership traits. On the other hand, they may also find these tendencies and become pessimistic and aggressive in relating with people. Kuya, ano? Di ba, marunong matinga mo ba? Basin dahil nung kanakuban nga, pessimistic o mga aggressive, basin dahil wala na meet ang ilang needs during oral stage. Di ba, psychosexual development will help us understand why we act the way we do. Do you agree? Yeah. You agree? Agree na lang. Sige. So, in order to further understand every stage, we have here 3 different people, so different children. So, given that they have different childhood experiences, we will see kung sa may kalahian kaya nimo silang adults. So, kani si Hans, he is weaned off his mother's breast without trauma, meaning to say na nalutas siya sa saktong edad. Ano siya? Kani si Jay's mother stops feeding him within 4 months of birth, which is too early. Then kani si Ida is often left alone, crying when she is hungry. So, ako i-compare mo, ano sa dyan pinabibig? So, si Hans becomes a healthy and independent adult. Si Jay, nag-suffer siya from trauma and develops an oral fixation. Diba kita man na? He tries to compensate for it by chewing gum all the time. So wala man masatisfy iyang erogenous zone, which is his mouth, mo na nga nagsiya siya og chew o gum. Then si Ida spends her entire life looking for the oral stimulation she was denied as an infant, and therefore develops a manipulative and addictive personality. Kita ninyo ang karanian. Diba, dako og effect, bad effects ka ng malutas sa dali. Another example is akong brother. So akong brother, older brother is 1 year and 2 months ra mo ka. So may anak sa akong mama. Kahitabo dito na tuwa is, diba, 1 siya 2004, December 2004. Di anak ko, February 2005. Doon na kayo ni. So, imbis nga, dili ko siya malutas, nalutas siya o akate na amang ko. So, yung tabo niya is, hindi na siya tamsak. And then, nagtamsak siya, kapit, alpuan, naundang siya tamsak, i-graduate siya o grade 6. So, diba, mangita taog ka ng i-compensate na to ba, ikuli na to para ma-satisfy ang akong oral stage. Samtan? And then, next stage is what stage is it? It's anal stage. Anal stage. So, erogenous zone is the anus. Diba mo sa anus? Diba mo sa anus?
lubog.
Kani anus is the last part of our digestive system. So, ano yung mga mga eta? During this stage, 18 months to 3 years so the child finds satisfaction in eliminating and retaining feces. Through society's expectations, particularly the parents, the child needs to work on toilet training. Diba dapat makaibaw ang mata o toilet training, but expectedly, kung mga 1-year-old pa to 3 years, ilang favorite word is no. Diba sila, no. So, mag-anak ang conflict. Diba sa oral stage, magsugod ang conflict katong malutas. Ani ang anal stage, anak magsugod ka ng mag-conflict na kung magsipin no ang mata. Now, therefore, a struggle might exist in the toilet training process when the child retains feces when asked to eliminate. Ilahang ipundo o dili nila ilibang ilang tayo imbis nga ipagawas ng ta o diba ilahang ipagawas imbis nga i-retain na unta. So in terms of personality, fixation during this stage can result in man? Yes. Jana? So may duha ka fixation ani in terms of personality.
Anal retentive and anal expulsive.
Kindly raise your hand. Yes, Tika.
Anal retentive and anal expulsive.
What is the differences between the two?
Anal retentive is obsession with cleanliness, perfection, and control, while anal expulsive, the person who becomes messy and disorganized.
Thank you, Tika. So, example na po, si Hans. So, ako alam ito sa mga may na may ready ka malangan sa video. So, So Hans' parents praised his attempts to use the toilet and encouraged him to learn at his own pace. Wala po sa si Hans. Si Jay's parents forced toilet training on him too early and punished him for mistakes. So ito si Hans, pasagtan na siya to learn in his own pace. While si Jay, kasabaan siya kung masayo, unya kugsun bagid siya og toilet training. While si Ida, babae, neglect yun. Wala din gibuhat niyang parents. Pasagdaan na siya, makalibaw sa nasa, maghugaw siya. Now, as a result, si Hans na depraise sa iyang attempts to use the toilet training, or to use the toilet, develops a competent personality, and good and balanced relationship with authority. Si Jay develops an anal retentive personality. He becomes an over-controlling and stingy adult with disgust for his own body and a tendency to obey authority. Then si Ida develops an anal expulsive personality, messy and disorganized siya. Diba? Wala man siya tuluin siyang ginikanan. So, wala siya pakialam. Wala na lang, madami niya yung kadako niya. So, kuya, kayo, no? Nga murag tayo, malutan na, pero na maka-affect din na to. Ito po. Ano sila? Si Hans, na siya competent personality in a good and balanced relationship. Okay, let's proceed sa third stage, which is the phallic stage. Kindly read. Who would like to read? Who would like to read? Kindly raise your hand. Kasi ka namin basa. Francine.
During the menstrual age, children become interested in what makes boys and girls different. Great studies led him to believe that during this stage, boys develop unconscious sexual desire for their mother, and girls also develop unconscious sexual desire for their father.
Thank you, Francine. So, kanina ng phallic stage is makaibaw na ta. Ages 3 to 6, di ba, makabantay na tao kasi kalangian na to sa mga laki. Ano yung genitals? Ano yung genitals? This is our outer, our external sexual organ. So, sabot na tama, ay lahi din tao. Nani, kanang reproductive organ sa mga laki. Now, ang uban ko ng mga bata, kay masuya ko sila. Masuya ko na sila. And then, nakutuban nga, panggaon nila ang ilang sexual organ. And then, Freud added that, aniya ko nung stage is, makadevelop ko unconscious sexual desire ang mga laki nga bata silang mama. So, this is known as, sa name? Oedipus complex. So, maritimanan ninyo, Oedipus complex, boys develop unconscious sexual desire for their mother. So, kuan ba, posible ba nga na po ng mga bae? Maka-experience po? Naka-experience po gani? Namoy sexual desire sa inyong papa? Unconscious sexual desire, ka bitaw? Palitan, kanang yung papa, makita ninyo nga maglabi-labi sa inyong mama niya. Murang ito pag, ako ay na si papa, ako ay na. Nana, naibang bata yung nana. Naka-feel ba na? Wala. Electra complex kung sa bae. Now, according to Freud, out of castration and due to the strong competition of their father, boys eventually decide to identify with them rather than fight with them. By identifying with their father, the boys develop masculine characteristics and identify themselves as males and repress their sexual feelings toward their mother. So, kung i-guide na kung tarong ang mga bata, i-guide na ang laki o ang bae, i-guide sila tarong silang parents, then, mawala ka. But then, kung dili ko na ma-solve, siguro di ako tao mag-admire dito sa mama o papa, they will result in sexual deviances. Kanang sexual deviances, kanang ikaw, kung find ka o pleasure sa dili sexual organs sa tunay, ibang tao di ka mara. Murag, kasi na. lain na. Kanang lain man oy, pero kanang lahi kuan, for example, kanang lahi ngani na lang. Lahi nga butang ilang kanang sana mangita sila butang makasatisfy sila sexual pleasure. If dili sila mag-guided because sila parents, and then weak on or confused sexual identity. Di sila kayo kung sama sila lang body. So it's really important for the parents to guide their children. Next, nasabtan na ninyo or need mo, for example, nasabtan na, Rachel, ba? Next is, dalikon na nila. Ano sa time?
9:13.
9:13 na?
13.
13? Okay. Then the fourth stage, it is the latency stage, age 6 to puberty. So it's during this stage that sexual urges or libido remain repressed. So dito itong libido, mani ang basic life energy para to ang sex drive. So aniya po nga stage, ang latency stage is maundang na wala ko na tayo interest. Diba? Unlike ito ang mouth, anus, genitals, wala ko no, nag-focus ato ang mali na stop atong libido aniya. Kaya nga naman, atong focus aniya is the acquisition of physical and academic skills. So kadto si Hans, si Jay, o si Ida, bali wala ko sila yung mga bad consequences. Kaya sila man tanan, di ba, if mo acquire tao skills and academic skills, maka-benefit man tanan. Di ba? So kadto sila tulo is nag-acquire naman sila skills, then they can benefit for it for sure. Sabta ng latency stage, again, wala repressed atong libido or na-stop atong sex drive niya. Ang sa ganito ato ang i-focus ani? Ang? Ang saan? Ha? Yes. Acquisition of physical and academic skills. Then, the fifth stage, it is the genital stage. So, atong erogenous zone niya po na niya is atong genitals. So, once we reach puberty, our libido starts to become active again, di ba? Naundang po siya sa latency stage, mubalik na po siya, active na po ato ang libido or atong sex drive. And then, he developed interest towards the opposite sex peers. Muna niya ka lang mag-isabot at mag-ibog-ibog na ka. Okay, do you have any questions about the 5 basic stages of psychosexual development? Wala na sa tanra, walang kalipugan.
Hindi rin yung mga.
Before we proceed, wala na ikaw na?
Wala na.
Wala na, parang daling. Sige, let's proceed to the second page. This is Freud's personality components. Okay, Freud described the personality structures as having 3 components. What are those? Okay, what is the first to emerge? Id. Id. Then, followed by?
Ego.
And last developed
Super
is?
ego.
Kaning id, everyone has just like libido. Kaning libido, ay kaning, di ba libido ato sa sexual desire, nag-function ko na niya is itong id. So, unsa man yung id? So, Freud says that a child is born with the id. So, the id operates on the pleasure principle. Eh, di ba itong libido is pleasure man to? So, si id ay ko, sige ingon si id. Muna si id. Again, hamon ni personality structure sa to. Nakunod tayo id, na tayo ego,
Super ego.
So, kani si id is nasa atong unconscious. May tag-unconscious. Dili ta aware ba siya day sige function, sige day siya seek og pleasure ba? Dili ta makabantay si id day ito. So it focuses on immediate gratification or satisfaction of its needs with no consideration for the reality. For example, kanang bata, gugmong siya, siya hilak, kay gusto ko gatas, gusto ko mukaon. Dili siya consider if ikapoy ba yung ginikana, ikapoy yung mama, o buka o gatas, wala. Kay ang id man ang function, gusto siya, o ditso, it wants it fast and it wants it now. So siya, gusto ko ani, makuha ni ng id, karon tayo. Muna ang id. Sabtan?
Yes.
Next is the ego. As the baby turns into a toddler and then into a preschooler, he or she relates with more with the environment. The ego slowly begins to emerge. So the ego operates using the reality principle. Katong id is pleasure principle. Kani si ego, magunahon na siya sa realidad or i-consider niya ang sa'yo pwede mong tagbo. It is aware that others also have needs to be met. So, katong id nato is diba unconscious. Kaning ego, unconscious and partly conscious. Nga naman, si ego manggod is magunahuna po siya, dili niya biyaan ang id. Sabtan ninyo, dili niya biyaan ang id. Gusto siya nga ma-meet ang needs sa id. Pero, kinahanglan nga hunahunahon po niya kung sa'yo pwede may tabo. For example, kanang bata, kaya dako na maka preschool, gusto siya o kanang gatas, or gusto siya o palit ani. Kana iyang id, si ingon nga, gusto ko ani. Pero ang iyang ego, maingon nga, walay kwarta si mama. Ana, i-balance. Magunahon na si ego sa kanang id, pero dili niya biyaan ang reality. Sabtan?
Yes, ma'am.
Then the super ego. Near the end of the preschool years or the end of the phallic stage, the superego develops. The superego embodies a person's moral aspect. So the superego is likened to conscience. Conscience. Mo ni siya ang nagabalanse. So this develops from what the parents, teachers, and other persons who exert influence impart to be good or moral. Okay, ano example? Diba si Ed, for example, kung nata sa kanang kalabay ta o lugar, so mga na si Ed, gusto ko mukhaon na ng pan. Mga na si Ed, gusto ko mukhaon na ng pan. Si superego, mga na si superego, di ba mo niya kung conscience, moral aspect of what is right and wrong. Mga na si superego nga, uy, bawal mangawa. Mga na, kasi magbuhaton ni ego. Di ba, unang-naon niya ang pleasure, pero, iha kung naon ang
I-balance.
reality o i-balance niya. Sa tanin niyo? Diba ang ego is, this is the deciding agent of the personality. So, dipindi po, dili naman pareha o super ego, diba? Kita, kung makalabay ta nga, organahan ta na, protibaw ta nga, bawal mga wat, dipindi po sa uban, kay kanang uban, kanang mga badyaw, kita nilang id, kay gusto sila nga na. So, kuha. Yeah, wala na sila tudluwi o what is, ay gituluan mo siguro pero naanad na ba nga mangawat na nga. So, dili sila mamina sila super ego. Bis nga, mali ang takto, iba ang sila sa sayop o sa sakto, atugyo sila sa ilang id, mamina sila sa ng pleasure. So, naay gitawag si Freud na well-adjusted person. So, kaning well-adjusted person is one who has strong ego, who can help satisfy the needs of the id without going against the superego, while maintaining the person's sense of what is logical, practical, and real. Matuloy lang kanina nga. Maingon ko nung well-adjusted person, tawag diba ka mo balance. Kaya if, di ba if dako ko kayo ang id, murag pleasure seeking na po kaayo ang tao. Di ba? Murag gusto na tama. Kaya kanino gusto si id, gusto siya o pleasure, magpalayo siya sa suffering. No, ni gusto rin. But diba, in life, we need sufferings baya sometimes. Mo na nga, kinahanglan yun nga, well-adjusted person ta. Dapat maminaw po ta sa itong super ego. Sabtan? Yes. Na if the id exerts too much power over the ego, the person becomes too impulsive and pleasure-seeking behavior takes over one's life. Now, if one may find the superego so strong that the ego is overpowered, if ano kung kayo mag-uutan, ano kung kayo na kung siya bad consequence. So, unsa man, becomes so harsh and judgmental to himself and others' action. Kaya diba, if murag, ano ta, magdibaw na ta nga, sakto na ako sa iyo, kaya murag, superior na ta ba nga, muna mo judge, dali na kayo mo judge sa upan. Dapat balance it. So, dito term ano well-adjusted person. So, the ability of a learner to be well-adjusted is largely influenced by how the learner was brought up. Kung din yung ganina, di ba, ito pala itong life sa mga badyaw, di ba, higit lahat. Hindi, makabalance man ta, kay kibaw man ta sa what is right and wrong. Kibaw po ta sa pleasure, kibaw ta mabalance. Unlike sa mga badyaw, sige rag id, sige rag pleasure. Mo na nga, matagak kay lang ang super ego. Dili balance lang. Sabtan ninyo ang well-adjusted person. Then we have here the topographical model, like conscious, diba, state of the iceberg. So ato ang seeking mahintuman or ato ang mabantayan as atong consciousness. Ano sa yung consciousness? Kani aware ta, istorya ta. Pero ang sa maning unconscious?
Wakabaw.
Freud said that most of what we go through in our lives, emotions, beliefs, feelings, and impulses deep within are not available to us at a conscious level. He believed that most of what influences us is our unconscious. So, katong ganina tong Oedipus complex o Electra complex na ma-develop sa bata is dili dito sila aware ito. Ito ang ito ninyo ganina. Nato sa unconscious. Again, kani unconscious is dili ta aware. Pero maka-influence dahil sa atong thinking, sa atong behavior. Mo to siya katong bata bitaw nga maka-develop og unconscious sexual desire silang papa. Abi nila nga wala ra, pero mangaway na din sila silang mama. It can influence their behavior and their thinking. Mo ni kaning conscious, all that we are aware. So this is stored in our conscious mind. Our conscious mind only comprises a very small part of who we are, so that in our everyday life, we are only aware of a very small part. What makes up our personality, most of what we are is hidden and out of reach. So, may alaw ko ang consciousness na to. Mas daghan gid kuno, di ba? Nakita niyo dira below sa dagat, mas daghan pa gid kuno. Sud na to. Nga wala pa ta kaybaw na maka-affect diay sa atong behavior or sa atong thinking. Next is the subconscious. Sa man yung subconscious? Can we read? Everyone?
The last part is the preconscious or subconscious. This is the part of us that we can reach if prompted, but is not rapidly conscious.
It's right below the surface but still hidden, somewhat unless we search for it. Information such as your phone numbers, some childhood memories, or the name of your best childhood friend
is stored in the brain.
So, kani, subconscious is, dili ko siya unconscious, pero kanang, wala siya subconscious unless if atua siya balikon o tanaw, or ato i-look back ba, sa tanin nyo, na naa siya sa unconscious, pero as we dig deeper on it, or ato ang balikon ba, i-recall na to, mado siya sa consciousness. Sa tan, diba, but still hidden somewhat unless we search for it. Muna yung mga example, telephone number, childhood memories, diba, o maglako-lako ta na di man ta kanunay mag-una sa atong childhood memories. Di ba ana raman ta makanuna na if mag-storya ta balik, di ba, if atong i-recall atong childhood memories. So because the unconscious is so huge and because we are only aware of the very small conscious at any given time, Freud used the analogy of the iceberg to illustrate it. A big part of the iceberg is hidden beneath the water's surface. So, daghan pa tao, dili tao sa ato ang consciousness gamay ra gyud kaayo. Nya ato ang pre-conscious ug ato ang unconsciousness is dako pa gyud. Mo siya. So kaning water, this may represent that all we are not aware of, have not experienced, and that has not been made part of our personalities, referred to as the non-conscious. Kaning non-conscious, basically, ang wala pa nakibaw, and ang soon to experience na. Sabtan, unsa na itong unconscious?
Diba? Wala ta masayo. Wala ka ba? Wala ka.
Not in our awareness, pero kanang maka-affect sa atong thinking and our behavior. Ngayon, the consciousness, we are aware of it.
Away.
Ngayon, the subconscious, this is not in our active consciousness, pero if we recall on it, di ba, mabalik siya, madung siya sa consciousness. Then, non-conscious is, wala pa na ito na-experience, soon to experience pa, soon to know. So, do you have any questions about the id, ego, and superego?
No,
Wala mo
ma'am.
nagbibog sa id, superego, and ego?
Wala, ma'am.
Wala. Ano ba? Manapin na. Okay, that's all for this morning.